Most people are making this credit card mistake. You might think you're optimized, earning 4 times points on groceries and 5 times points on airfares, but what about the purchases that don't fall into a bonus category? The Sephora haul, the Zara order, that random Amazon purchase. Most people are putting all of that everything else spend on their Amex Gold or Platinum and earning just 1 point per dollar. Today, I'm going to help you level up by walking you through the 5 best catch-all cards that will supercharge your points earning. We'll cover the pros and cons of each, and you'll find out which one might be the best fit for you. Stay until the end because I'll share my personal catch-all strategy. I'm Rachel. I've earned millions of points and I've redeemed them for hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of business class flights and 5-star hotels. I'm here to teach you everything that I know, so if that sounds like your kind of content, make sure you're subscribed. Let's get into it. In case you're not familiar with the term, a catch-all card earns an elevated rate on every single purchase, regardless of category. It's the card you use for everything that doesn't have a strong points multiplier somewhere else. For example, while your Amex Gold gets 4 times points on dining and groceries, it gets you just 1 point per dollar on Amazon or Walmart purchases. A catch-all card will get you 1.5 to 2 times points on that same purchase. Okay, let's go through them. Starting with the most approachable card on the list, the Chase Freedom Unlimited. No annual fee, and it earns 1.5 points per dollar on all purchases. It also earns 3 times points at restaurants, 3 times at drugstores, and 5 times points through Chase Travel. But we're here specifically for that 1.5 times catch-all rate. On its own, this card earns cash back, but here's where it gets interesting. If you pair it with a Chase Sapphire Preferred or Reserve, those points convert into fully transferable Ultimate Rewards points. So suddenly your 1.5 times on that random everyday spend becomes points that you can actually move to Hyatt, United, and many more partners, or use with Chase Points Boost. Getting transferable points with no annual fee attached is rare, and that's the real value play here. It also comes with purchase protection, extended warranty, and trip cancellation coverage, which is more than you'd expect from a no-fee card. On the downside, 1.5x is the lowest earn rate on this list. Every other card here earns 2 times points on everything. If you're putting $2,000 a month on a catch-all, that gap between 1.5x and 2x is 12,000 points a year. Not the worst, but not nothing. And without a Sapphire card in the mix, the points don't transfer anywhere. They're just cash back. So this really works as part of a broader Chase setup, not as a standalone. That said, it's a solid option, particularly because it doesn't increase your overall annual fee spend. Right now, new card holders can earn a $200 bonus after spending $500 in the first 3 months. Very achievable and a nice head start for a no-fee card. All of the cards I covered today are linked in the description below. If you do decide to apply, using my affiliate link supports the channel and it helps me to continue creating free content like this. So thank you. Genuinely, it means a lot. Moving on to the Capital One Venture. And this is where you step up from 1.5x to 2x, which sounds small, but at real spending volume, it adds up quickly. 2 miles per dollar on every purchase without limits, and 5x on travel booked through the Capital One travel portal. The annual fee is $95, and the card offsets that with $120 in global entry or TSA pre-check credit every 4 years. I think of this card as the clean, low-complexity option. 1 card, 2x on everything, solid transfer partners. If you don't want to think too hard about it, this does the job well. Capital One miles transfer over to 15 partners: Air Canada Aeroplan, Turkish Airlines, Singapore KrisFlyer, Avianca Life Miles, EVA Air, and many more. In terms of downsides, this card doesn't come with many additional benefits, which may be fine if you already have a premium travel card like the Amex Platinum. And also, when you add up the value of the Venture X perks, that card actually costs less to hold in practice, which I'll get into next. This is a good time to apply. At the time of filming, there's a limited time offer of 75,000 miles plus a $250 Capital One travel credit after $4,000 of spend in the first 3 months. That's over $1,000 in combined value for a $95 annual fee card. A really strong first year. Check the link below for the most up-to-date information. If you're finding this video helpful, please take a second to hit the like button. It helps the content reach more people it can provide value to, and it helps the channel grow. So thank you. Now, the Venture X earns the same 2x on everything as the regular Venture card. Same transfer partners, same catch-all rate. The difference is in the travel benefits layered on top. The annual fee is $395, but the card gives you $300 in Capital One travel credits each year, applied automatically when you book through their portal. And every year on your anniversary, you get a bonus 10,000 miles worth at least $100 in face value. So between those two benefits, you're looking at $400 in annual value against a $395 annual fee before you've used any of the additional credits on the card. You also get Priority Pass membership, which covers over 1,300 lounges globally, plus access to Capital One's own lounges, which are said to be some of the best airport lounges in the US. If your home airport has one, that alone could be worth the upgrade from the regular Venture. One thing to note is that this year, Capital One made some changes to their guest rules for the lounges, so you'll want to check that in advance to make sure your specific scenario is covered and know that you'll likely have to pay an additional fee for guests that you're bringing into the Capital One or possibly Priority Pass lounges. On the downside, Capital One can be finicky on approvals for the Venture cards, especially if you've opened any other cards recently. So if you're interested in this card, it might be smart to prioritize it before other card openings to maximize your chances of getting approved. Unlike me, who has been rejected due to recency of card openings. Overall, for a 2x catch-all card with travel perks that basically pay for the fee, the Venture X is hard to argue with. The current welcome offer is 75,000 miles after $4,000 in spend in the first 3 months, worth $750 towards travel at a minimum, and potentially more if you transfer it to the right partners. Next is the most expensive card on this list, but it has a few particular strengths worth talking about. Bilt relaunched their cards in January 2026, and while the new cards offer points earning potential on both rent and mortgages, it comes with quite a complex new structure. The Palladium earns 2 Bilt points per dollar on all everyday spend. That's non-housing spend. There's also a points accelerator feature that can bump your everyday earn up to 3x on select spending. The mechanics are a little involved. So if the Palladium sounds like it might be a fit, I'd encourage you to take the time to fully read through the details on the Bilt website before applying. It's a card that rewards people who understand it, but admittedly, it is the most complex card on the market, in my opinion. The annual fee is $495, the highest on this list, and here's what offsets it. $400 in Bilt travel hotel credits, split as $200 in the first half of the year and $200 in the second half, applied to hotel bookings of 2 nights or more through the Bilt portal. You also get $200 of annual Bilt cash credited to your account and a Priority Pass membership with up to 2 complimentary guests per visit. If you use those hotel credits and the Bilt cash, then you kind of covered the fee. But the real strength of Bilt is their transfer partner network, one of the strongest lineups available right now, not just in volume, but in quality. Hyatt, Atmos Rewards, formerly Alaska Airlines, and Japan Airlines at 1-to-1 are the standouts, supplemented by many of the usual suspects like Flying Blue, Avianca, Virgin Atlantic, and Air Canada Aeroplan. At time of filming, the welcome offer is 50,000 Bilt points, plus gold status with Bilt after $4,000 in everyday spend in the first 3 months, plus $300 in Bilt cash on approval. On the downside, the $495 fee requires you to actually use the hotel credits and Bilt cash to justify it. And like I said, this is a complex card. The dual currency system, the Bilt cash mechanic for unlocking housing points, the points accelerator, there are a lot of moving parts. This is not a card you can set and forget. It rewards the people who take the time to understand how it works, and if that's you, it's exceptional. If you want something simpler, one of the earlier cards on the list is probably a better fit. I saved this one for last because it's technically a business card, but if you're eligible, it's one of the best value cards on the list. No annual fee, 2 membership rewards points per dollar on everything, up to $50,000 per year, and then 1x after that. For most people's other category spend, $50,000 covers it, and you're earning transferable Amex points on all of it with $0 of annual cost. Amex membership rewards transfers to over 20 airline and hotel partners: Delta, Flying Blue, British Airways, Singapore Airlines, ANA, Emirates, Marriott, Hilton, there's many more. It's one of the deepest transfer partner lineups out there. And if you already have an Amex Gold or Platinum, this card feeds directly into the same points pool. One thing to know, you don't need a formal business to qualify. So freelancers, consultants, content creators, anyone with a side income, Amex is fairly broad in how they define a business applicant. If that's you, it's worth looking into. On the downside, if you already have an Amex Gold or Platinum, this card doesn't necessarily expand your points universe. You're already earning membership rewards. You already have access to every transfer partner that this card offers. Adding it just earns more of the same currency, which is fine, but it's not diversification. If that matters to you, one of the Capital One or Bilt options gives you transfer partners that you don't already have access to as an Amex user. Where it does shine is if you're earlier in your points journey and don't yet have a gold or platinum. This is a great no-fee way into the Amex ecosystem. 2 points on everything, no cost, same transfer partners as the premium cards, and that's hard to beat as a starting point. The welcome offer is currently 15,000 bonus points after $3,000 in spend in the first 3 months. It's modest, but relatively easy to hit. Most people's catch-all spend is going somewhere it shouldn't be, and a card earning 1 times points per dollar or less on thousands of dollars a month, the fix is usually an easy swap. If you're just starting out and want a no-fee foundation, Chase Freedom Unlimited could work out for you, especially if you already have a Chase Sapphire card. If you want a clean 2x on everything with a low annual fee, Capital One Venture is simple and effective. If you travel a few times a year and the fee basically pays for itself anyway, the Venture X is worth the step up. And if you pay rent or mortgage and you want your housing spend working for you alongside the best transfer partners in the game, the Bilt Palladium could be a fit. Just be ready for the complexity. And if you have any kind of business or side income, the Amex Blue Business Plus is a quiet, no-fee, 2 times points earner that most people overlook. All 5 cards are linked in the description below. And as I mentioned earlier, if you do decide to apply, using my link costs you nothing and it helps me keep this channel going. Okay, I promised I'd share my personal setup, so here it is. For a long time, my catch-all was the Chase Freedom Unlimited. It was simple, no annual fee, 1.5 times points on everything, and it did the job, and I was happy with it, especially since I'd been rejected for the Venture X. But earlier this year, I made the switch to the Bilt Palladium. The 2x on everyday spend and the fact that it earns the strongest points currency on the market is what made me switch. I get heaps of value by transferring the points to Alaska Airlines and Hyatt. Bilt also offers pretty interesting elevated transfer bonuses from time to time, so it's worth keeping track of if you're more of an intermediate or advanced points and miles player. If this was helpful, make sure you're subscribed. I post about credit card strategies and points every week. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.